Okay, so I'm gonna kind of do this pretty quick. Hopefully, it makes sense. But um, I'm using Adobe CC, so I'm going over here to the pen tool, and I'm gonna find the image here that I really want. I can do this two ways. I can either take my time and literally draw point by point, and gradually make the shape, as you can see what's happening with her. I'm making the shape. Or I can go to this great tool called Image Trace. So all I'm doing is just selecting the image, and Image Trace comes up as an option right up here. So what you want to do is click on it, and right now it's basically just giving me its first general result, which I think will be just fine for what we're trying to do. And then right here is the expand tool. When I click expand, and that's basically going to make this into an editable vector shape. Now you'll see that this is all connected and has like this weird box here. If you go Command or Apple Y and you see the box that's around it, what you want to do is take your direct select tool, the white arrow, and just highlight the corner of the box on the outside. Don't worry about what it's selecting here. Just hit delete twice. It basically is overlapping this whole segment here, and same goes for this side too. So you just want to delete these random things, and right here at the below her feet as well. So now what you have, if we just zoom in to just the selection here, this is what we have. Now the next thing you want to try to do is eliminate these little random pieces inside here. This is pretty easy just by selecting the out shape right here and the ones you want to keep, and you can go to Object, Lock, Selection. So basically, if you touch this again for any reason, it won't grab anything. So what you can do is just come inside here. It'll select everything else you want, and you just hit delete. Hit delete a couple times in case you didn't grab all the nodes. And then over here, since these are pretty basic shapes, you just want to go in here and just delete those. Alright, so you have exactly what you're looking for, which I think is what you need to make that cut shape. So if you go to Objects, Unlocked All, gives you that shape again. Okay. So what we're going to do is bring in that same file again. I didn't bring in 2 copies, but I'm just going to bring it in. So I'm just going to place this guy, and just drop her back in here. So I'm going to zoom out. See, right now I'm in outline mode. If I go Command Y, brings her right back up again. So I kept her the same size and shape as before, so she should be just about there. That looks pretty accurate. You can actually zoom in a little bit just to make sure. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. And so everything's there. So if you go in outline mode, you can see there's the outline. Then the box outside now is just that image. So now you got her. But you're missing like little areas in between, like on her hands, and it's a little bit too simplified around the edges, which isn't such a big deal, but it depends on what you really need. So if I zoom in here and just say, hey, I do want to have her arm attached, to her body, so we'll just connect that there, and just make basically whatever random shape you need to make that happen. And I don't know, for the most part, I think that's all there is. You go to Command Y again, you see that vectored shape. You can now connect that little piece you just made using the image by going to, I believe it's over here somewhere, Pathfinder. Just go ahead and click this compound shape, and voila, it just made that shape. So now you have your shape for what you really need, to make any kind of cuts to an image like this. So now the outside shape is what you really need to be worried about. So if you flip this around, you make this outline, you can actually offset the path and make this your cut edge. So what you can do is easily go into Object, Path, and you can go Simplify. If you hit Simplify, you can show the preview button here. It'll show you like this really weird and distorted thing. Let's do this in outline mode so you can always see what's going on. So if you go to Object, Path, Simplify, and just hit Preview, you can see like it really distorts this. So what you want to do is come in here. I usually like to go with about 90 to 95%, which eliminates a lot of these like extra nodes, these little blue dots. But you want to keep as much crisp detail as possible, but this eliminates a lot of the little things that you don't have to worry about. If you click straight lines, that's what happens. And then this is your original, so you can see how many nodes you're eliminating just by doing that. So hit OK. After you're done with that, this is where it kind of gets a little fun. If you depend on what you're actually trying to do, you can now take this shape and in your same object, path, options, go to offset path. In here, you can actually make an offset path off of this shape. So say we wanted to keep 1.1839 or 1389 inches. Hit preview. This is exactly that shape offset by whatever it is. Typically here, we'll do 0.125. Because I don't know, that seems like a pretty reasonable number. Preview. This is mitered. I like rounded because typically a plotter, if you see that like little piece of her hair rounded off there, so I went from miter, this little sharp edge, to round. Now it's all rounded. This usually just helps just with plotters, making sure that they can go around these edges without catching up on something weird. So there's that option. I typically keep it that way. Hit OK. Now you can keep this easily just by just moving it out of the way. And now you see you got your outside shape here. You can release this. If you right click on it, you can release a compound path, which will basically eliminate these little random things in there, which typically you don't want to have when you're cutting, because that's just more data in more kind of insignificant areas that don't really need to be plotted or anything. Okay, so now you have your shape right here. If we go Y, now we can see how it actually is going to look when it gets printed and now plotted out. And as you can see, it looks pretty damn good. It could be a pretty cool decal. For the most part, these are typically in a magenta color, just to make them easier to see. Oops, for some reason I'm in gray space. Yeah, for some reason. So we're going to see them like, yay, there's my 100% magenta, ta-da, there it is. Okay, so there is, I'm sorry. So there's your shape, your offset path, and a quick little vectorization and a quick little way to make decals. So hopefully this helped you, Alan, and if there's anything else, or maybe I didn't hit the points you're looking for, just hit me up, let me know, and I'll try to refocus in on what you're looking for to help you out. Thanks again, bud.